Shannon, what do you make of what Russ said here?
He's saying all the right things, but what he's saying hasn't been matched up by his play. Because you say you're trying to do everything you possibly can. How about shoot with a better efficiency? How about turn the ball over at not a higher rate as you've been doing, and you've done a great job of that? How about play a little defense? Not great defense, just a little defense. Skip, look, I get it, and this is what I don't get. How he says he's upset that they lost, but that doesn't match but what you said. You said before that whether you win or lose, the son, life goes on. Now you're concerned about losing. Skip, look, when you're an all-star, when you're a superstar player, it hurts getting benched. Nobody likes to be benched, let alone a guy that's performed at the highest level, the guy that was an MVP, the guy that's been an all-NBA player. So this notion that all of a sudden you care so much about winning, when through your own words, it's not the end-all, be-all. Life goes on. I'm in L.A. I'm with my kids. I see them smile. Now all of a sudden you care about winning. No, it hurt your pride. You got benched. And no, you have not. There's a reason why. We're going to go a little bit more in depth about this, Skip. There's a reason why you've been on 4 teams in 4 years. Let that sink in. A guy that's had historic seasons have done things that nobody in the history of the game has ever done or thought could be done. This is his 4th team in 4 years. Why? Why has Russell Westbrook been on 4 teams in 4 years? I don't get it. The Lakers, you played against Russell Westbrook in the bubble. And what was the scouting report? Let him shoot. He'll turn the ball over. And then you turn around and sign the guy to help you win the championship, when one of the reasons why you were able to get to the championship because you played that guy. Wow. Skip, I take everything that he says with a grain of salt, because what he said in one breath and then what he turns around and says now, it does not jive. It does not mesh. Had he said, look, I'm here to win a championship, it keeps me awake at night if I don't win the championship, because I just want to know, not that the sun's going to shine tomorrow, not there's more important things in life than the game of basketball. Hell no. If you talking like that on my team, I don't want you on the team, because I know how much I invested. And let me tell you one thing, Skip, before I turn it over to you. I'm never going to invest in an individual that doesn't invest in me. So what Russell Westbrook is telling me, he's not investing in me if I'm investing in the game of basketball, because he said there are other things more important. Well, if it is, we on the wrong team. We need to be split apart. So whatever he said, he's upset. Yes, he's upset because he views himself as a superstar. And he got benched. They told Russ, without telling Russ, how do you say something without saying something? We got a better chance of winning the ball game with the guys on the floor and you sitting over here with me than you in the game and one of them sitting over here with me. That's what they told Russ. Long story short, they told Russ, we have a better chance of winning the game with Austin Reeves, with a Stanley Johnson, with a Malik Monk.
Correct.
Than one Russell Westbrook.
Preach. Agreed. Okay. My take on this from a distance is that Russ stewed about this. Russ went to his agent and said, I need to draw a line in the sand, albeit this time in the Orlando sand, not the LA sand, because they're going to play there tonight, ironically back where they won their last championship in the bubble. And I believe, I don't know this for a fact, but I believe that because when you want to make a big statement in the National Basketball Association, you go to whom? You go to Woj, right? It's the biggest mouthpiece, the biggest stage that you could gain entry into would be, let's let Woj know that we want to speak up and speak out. So when they landed in Orlando, the call had been arranged, it sounds like, from a distance. I don't know the exact behind-the-scenes workings of this, but it sounded like they went to Woj and said, we would like to make some statements to you. Great.
Right.
Congratulations to him. And Russ spoke. And to your point, he spoke nicely, but the between-the-lines message here to me was, I'm doing everything I can to help you win. So from here on, you better not take me out in fourth quarters, because I'm I'm the reason you got this far. And I'm thinking, you got how far? You're 22 and 23, mostly because of Russell Westbrook. You have tried to overcome him unsuccessfully. He has become the ultimate liability for what a lot of people thought was going to be a very good team, a team that was the odds-on favorite to win the championship this year, has been undone mostly. That you can throw the injuries in to AD and obviously Kendrick Nunn, Barry Southers, LeBron gone for a little while. But in the end, you know and I know, we both agree, the liability here, the piece to the puzzle that LeBron and AD vouched for, if not pushed for, that cannot be overcome is Russell Westbrook. So I read these quotes, and the first one that stuck in my craw was, but I'm more disappointed that we lost the damn game. I'm calling BS on that one because I don't believe it. I don't buy it because there's been no other statement out of his mouth that said he was more interested in winning the damn game. Well, when has he ever been more interested in winning a damn game? He's always been more interested in prioritizing stats over winning. It's why he's been on 4 teams in 4 years. It's why Kevin Durant said, I can't do it anymore with him. I got to go join forces with those guys. I'm in year 10. I got to get me a ring. And he went and he got him 2 rings and 2 finals MVP. Way to go, Kevin. Russ becomes the all-time stat machine, the all-time solo act in Oklahoma City. And again, I take nothing away, as you point out, Shannon, 4 out of the last 5 years to average a triple-double. It's impossibly, inhumanly great. He pulled it off to the detriment of his team's ability to win basketball games because as he pulled it off, he often led the league in turnovers. 4 times he did that. 4 times he finished second. And as we speak, he's leading the league in turnovers right here, right now. As we speak, Russell Westbrook is shooting 30% from 3 as the starting point guard for the Lakers. A point guard who has played more minutes than any other player in the league so far this year. 30% ranks 148 of 154 qualified. 69% from the free throw line ranks 99th of 100 qualified free throw shooters. It's hard to win in spite of that, and they're not able to.
Yeah.
And in the end, all these things that he says that, I'm committed to making this thing work. I'm okay with sacrificing some things that I've been able to sacrifice for to help this team win. Such as what? He's still averaging 19, 8, and 8, which are highly respectable numbers, but they're undercut by how often he turns the ball over, by how many times he misses shots, and Shannon, just how impossibly bad the turnovers and the missed shots are. So many air balls, so many air balls off the glass that miss the rim. So many turnovers that make you sit back. We do blooper reels on a daily basis on this show of the missed shots and especially the turnovers because we sit back and say, this man has the worst hands of any point guard in the history of this game. Never seen anything this bad. Can't hang on to the basketball, can't finish at the rim, throws passes that an 8th grader wouldn't try in church league basketball.
Right.
And in the end, Shannon, you sit back and you say, well, all this sounds nice, but he's also saying, don't take me out anymore or we're going to have a problem. That's what I read between the lines. And he concluded by saying, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
If I'm the Lakers, I want the problem. See what the Lakers doing, the Lakers saying, well, we don't want to come up and to buy a guy even though we want to trade him. So we hope Russ go to his agent, say, hey, get me up out of there. Then we can say, you know what? Russ wanted to be out of here. We're trying to facilitate that. And you're absolutely right, Skip. When teams or guys want to get something out, they go to Woj. Woj is the NBA inside what Carl Bernstein and Bob Woodward is to D.C. politics. If it happens in D.C. and one of them gets a hold of it, it happened. It was said. And trust me, when they say it's going to come to fruition, is going to come to fruition. When Woj says something, Skip, you put your bottom dollar on it, it's going to happen. So that's not an accident that he went to him to do this interview. Or Woj was able to get this interview from Russ. But Skip, if Russ' previous actions and previous words wouldn't jive with what he's saying now, Skip, you know your boy on the wagon with both feet. But he hasn't said that. Winning has never been the end-all, be-all with him. And it rubbed me the wrong way, Skip, when we did it earlier this year. When I heard him say that, I said, Skip, that's a problem, bruh. Because I know how much I'm invested. I know how much LeBron is invested. And LeBron is hearing you say that, that man's spending millions of dollars. Skip posted around the clock about working out after the game, watching what he eats. And here's the guy coming in that we're counting on. Say, man, the sun gonna shine. You know, I get to see my kids' face every day. That's happy. What? Man, I'm trying to win a championship. And you over here talking about you want some happy kids. Well, you know what? I need you to go to another team so you and your kids can be happy and give me somebody that they might not be the level of player that you are, but I want somebody, Skip, that's the only way you can win. From top to bottom, have to be equally as invested. And if it's not going to work. So for me, I've been done with Russ, and I told you, Skip, when I heard him say what he said earlier this year, I said, I've never been the player that Russ is, but I can tell you one thing, you won't find a teammate or coach that said winning wasn't the end-all, be-all. And my actions backed it up.
Shannon Sharpe, you were a better player than Russell Westbrook because you were a winning player. You were a team leader for 2 Super Bowl championship teams, twice obviously in Denver, once in Baltimore. You made big plays at big moments. That's the opposite of this guy. I get all the talent. I get greatest 6'3" rebounder we've ever seen. It doesn't contribute to winning championships. It undercuts the ability for a team to win. He's the opposite of Shannon Sharpe as a leader because he's a complete solo act. It's all about Russ all the time. He's defiantly delusional. And his last lines to Woj were, we have a legitimate chance to be able to win it all. Russ, I'm sorry, not with you in the middle of this. You don't. And what Frank Vogel did might have saved his job, because the other ESPN report we reacted to yesterday by Dave McMenamin, who covers the Lakers team, was that Vogel had been given the green light to do whatever he needed to do with Russ over the last 2 weeks.
Do what you got to do.
So I pointed, do what you got to do. And I pointed out to you that if we went back one game, that, remember, down the stretch of the Utah game that they did win, in part because the 4 best three-point shooters for Utah went a combined 1 for 26. But remember, down the stretch, fourth quarter, Russ was only allowed to play 3 minutes and 24 seconds. And to your point, Austin Reeves, undrafted rookie out of Oklahoma, played 9 minutes in that fourth quarter, and that's the one game they recently won. And then in this game, down the stretch, 3 and almost 4 minutes, he's on the bench. And I told you, he's not going to literally sit still for this. But now back to your big picture point, Russ told The Athletic just, I think it was about 4 days ago, it was after the loss at Denver, the 37-point debacle that Magic tweeted about. As he was walking to the bus, he told The Athletic, my purpose is bigger than basketball.
Thank you.
And I'm thinking, my purpose, your purpose is bigger than basketball. What is it? Your community work? Way to go. God bless you. Your clothing line that you're so invested in? I get it. But this is everything to Laker Nation. Your team was favored to win it all, and I don't think you care much at all about that because your purpose is bigger. And to your point, as he said a month or 2 ago, the sun's still going to come up if we don't win basketball games. I don't think he loses any sleep over losing basketball games or stinking up basketball games because he's making $44 million. He is guaranteed to make $47 million next year. He's good, man. He is good to go. If he doesn't, if he walks away from this game without a championship, it will not bother him a bit because he is going to be a slam dunk first ballot Hall of Famer.
Skip, does he understand that his ability to do what he does in the community, his ability to have a clothing line and to help people, does he understand that comes from basketball? So I get the purpose, but while the purpose is very important, and it should be, winning should be just as big as the purpose that you're trying to achieve off the court. That's how it works. You don't get to say, you know what, if I don't win here, as long as I win over there, I'm cool, because it's over here that allows you to do that over there. Skip, he was right. You know what, Skip, when we lost the game, the sun did this. Realistically, yes, it did rise the next day, but not in my world. The sun didn't rise, not for me, knowing how much I invested, knowing how much time, effort, and energy I put into this, all the time that I denied my girlfriend, my kids, not going able to see things, missing this, missing that. It bothered me to lose, because I'm like, damn, am I doing enough? How much more can I do? Well, let me find out. And I try to do a little more. Well, maybe I didn't lift enough. Maybe I didn't eat clean enough. Maybe I didn't study enough film. Hey, guys at practice, I need you to give me a better look. Hold me. Do something different. There's something that I can do more to help this team win. My position coach, Brian Periotti, look, bro, I need you to break this down. Break down my practice. I forget the game. Because I need to see something is missing, that I'm not being able to help this team win. Skip, I told Coach Reeves this before he passed, rest his soul. I had got an opportunity to speak at his homegoing service. Skip, one of my biggest regrets, and I've asked myself this, and I don't know for sure, had I become the player that I became sooner, could I have saved Coach Reeves' job? If I became the big play shake, if I was the Shannon Sharpe that was the all-pro, that was the perennial Pro Bowl player earlier, could I have saved that man's job? Skip, that's how I think. The man lost his job on my watch. That still keeps me up at night. A lot of people don't think like that. Well, Shannon, that's just what happens. You got into the coaching profession, and you know how it is. That's not how I think. Because I don't want somebody to say, well, hey, it is what it is. Shannon lost his job. He just lost his job. When I believe maybe I could have prevented that. That's what bothers me most about Russ. Skip, I don't give a damn about the turnovers. Yeah, I would like for him to take the ball, to protect the ball. Yes, I'd like for him to shoot 50% from the floor. But it seems to me the lack thereof of caring about wins and losses. And that is how you're measured in sports. That's why they keep score. That's why they have a sheet. Skip, they keep scores in everything. Ford and GMC is in competition. Mercedes and BMW is in competition. Google and Facebook is in competition. Everything is a competition. Life is a competition. Did you not know that? He just rubs me the wrong way. He always have, and I thought it was going to be different, but that's my fault. I'm the fool for believing somebody's going to change after 14 years when they've shown you one way, one style. That's me. That's on me, Laker Nation. Won't happen again, though.
I agree. I hear you. My final takeaway from this is the only way your Lakers are going to turn this around is if Russ plays less. Can't play Russ down the stretch. So he's going to have to sit still for this, like it or not.
Traded for John Wall. Can we trade it for John Wall? They've been traded for each other before. I'd rather have John Wall.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this Lakers and Russ situation plays out.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.